The graduating class at Annapolis of 1,010 people. On the program tonight, we have the man who graduated 1,010th. Lonny Stair. Now, say hello to our friend Paul Schaefer. Of the 1,010 naval cadets who graduated at this year's ceremony, our next guest was able to distinguish himself by graduating 1,010th. Please say hello to United States Navy Ensign Lonny Stair. Lonny! Nice to see you. Lonny Stair. You could have played anchors. It's too late. Lonny, welcome to the program. I was hoping Paul would burst into Anchors Away. You come out in this great-looking uniform. It was our one chance at a real TV moment, and we blew it.
The uniform speaks for itself.
Yeah. First of all, I couldn't get into Annapolis. My grades would never have been good enough to get in at all. So I don't want you to get the feeling that I myself think that this is odd or unusual that you graduated last in your class. I think you must be proud that you attended all 4 years and have the degree. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Now, having said that, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience graduating last? Does that indicate that you had trouble in the 4 years you were there?
A little bit. It was a struggle. It was a struggle all the way through. To graduate the academy, you need a 2.00 cumulative grade point average.
Right.
And I graduated with a 2.01. So
that's all it takes.
Snuck it out.
That's just all it takes. Now, was it that, I know that the regimen must be unbelievably difficult, and you have hardly any free time. Was that part of the problem?
Yes, along with tough classes. The hardest part I found about classes were some of the professors were so intelligent, they would give me a lecture, and it would go right over my head.
Yeah.
I'd sit there and laugh in class saying, what are they talking about? Me and my classmates.
You know, the same thing happens to me sometimes when I'm watching cartoons. The same problem there. Now, we hear a lot about in the service academies at West Point and also Annapolis and the Air Force Academy about hazing, and when you're your freshman year, you're called, I guess, your plebes. And what? Give us a feeling for what that was like for you.
Well, back when you start freshman, you go in as a plebe, as they call it, plebes, and you kind of get thrown into this military environment with it's not so much hazing, but it's just they ask you a lot of questions and you're expected to answer. And they ask you some questions like, for instance, Mr. Letterman,
yes, sir.
How's the cow?
Fine, sir. I would say that. That's what I would say,
They
sir.
would say, and they might say, drop, give me 25.
And then I'd be down doing push-ups.
Right.
Yeah, what happened there?
The perfect way to say something like that would be if they said, Mr. Stair, how's the cow? I would say, sir, she walks, she talks, she's full of chalk. The lactic acid extracted from the female of the bovine species is highly prolific to the, shake the milk carton, 6th degree, sir.
Wow. See, now, I don't know. Now, to me, right there, that performance is more like a B, B minus than a C. I don't know. Was there ever any rough stuff going on for you at the academy? I mean, good-natured roughhousing, any kind of pranks or anything?
Yeah, yes, there was. It happens a lot during the Army week. That's the week before we play the big Army-Navy game, football game.
Who leads historically in that series?
We do, Navy. By
right.
one game, I believe it is, right now, as it stands, because we won this one big, the last one. For instance, when I was a freshman, we had this second class, a junior, who's in charge of training plebes, and I was a freshman. And he was an exchange student from West Point. So he was pretty tough on us all year. So come Army week, we decided to get him back. We lived in this area. It's shaped like an L, and at the center of the L, there's this phone, because we don't have phones in our room. So we had one of the messengers go tell him he had a phone call, and all 32 of us at the time, freshmen, hid into a room right by the phone, and as soon as he walked down to go use the phone, we jumped him.
Wow.
We took him into the restroom, the head, and we proceeded to cover him with shaving cream and shampoo, some baby powder, and then we gave him a swirly.
And a swirly is?
When you stick the head in the toilet and continue to flush a couple times.
Sure, yeah.
It's all good-natured fun.
Now, again, to me, just as an outside, as a civilian observer, to me, that's not the work of an average student. You know, that's honor roll stuff. That's. And how about graduation? Is it identified? Are you signaled out for being the last one in graduation, or how does that go?
Yeah, there's a couple traditions that follow that honor, dubious honor. First of all, when you go up on stage, you get a standing ovation.
Yeah.
And
and President Bush was the commencement speaker this year?
President Bush was the commencement speaker. So as my name was called, we don't get called up in terms of our ranking. We get called up in terms of our companies. There's 36 companies. I happen to be in 13.
Right.
So in the middle of the pack, you hear my name, Lonny M. Stare, and everybody started standing up. And as I walked up on stage, I noticed President Bush had a really queer look on his face, like he was wondering why everybody was standing up for this guy. So,
you know, these days, I don't think that look goes away much either. But in addition to the standing ovation, you also get money for graduating last, don't you? How does that work?
Correct. Every man in the graduating class, man or woman, excuse me, in the graduating class gives the anchor man, the last person to graduate,
the
$1.
anchor man, is that what you're called?
That's what I'm called, the anchor man. So I got $1 from everybody.
And what does that amount to? That's like over $1,000. Yeah. Wow, good for you.
Yeah.
And where are you off to? You now will be in the Navy active duty for 5 years.
5 year
and where will you be stationed now?
I'm in the Supply Corps. I'm going to be stationed starting July 1st at the Navy Supply School, and that's in Athens, Georgia.
Hey, go ahead and laugh, but you folks don't get the uniform, all right? Good luck to you, and it's a great story, and I think you should be very happy that you have completed your assigned studies there at Annapolis and now will be out serving our country. Thank you very much, Lonny. Nice to see you. Lonny Stare, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.